Welcome along to my predictions for the 2026 Australian Grand Prix. In this series we predict a bunch of different things, from a good surprise to the top 3 in qualifying and the main race. If you guys want me to do this for every single race weekend for the 2026 season, then please like and subscribe to the channel. Let's do this. So we're going to start off with a good surprise, and this is a driver that's going to surprise a lot of people. And I've gone for one of the top drivers because I feel like this team / driver, they don't expect much. I mean, maybe the driver they expect much, but maybe the team they don't expect much from. I've gone for a good surprise. Max Verstappen to be a good surprise. I think the Red Bull is going to be a lot better than what people expect. I think people expect them to be the 4th best car, quite far off the top 3, but I think the Red Bull's going to be pretty solid at Melbourne. I feel like they always are pretty good at Melbourne, no matter what the regulations are, and I just see Verstappen doing pretty well, and the Red Bull car as well to be pretty fast. Moving on to the biggest letdown, and this is obviously a driver all team that will be a bigger letdown, and this one is a little bit of a bold prediction. I'm gonna say I have gone for McLaren to be the biggest letdown. I feel like McLaren are going to start the season off the back foot. I feel like they always tend to start off quite slow with new regulations, and I don't think it's going to be any different. I think McLaren will start off really slow, and I just see him having a really tough weekend, which will lead on to my 3 random predictions on why I have gone for this pick. Moving on to the qualifying predictions, and a new segment for this year. We've actually got the top 3 for qualifying instead of me just doing pole position, but P3 in qualifying, and I have gone for Lewis Hamilton to be P3. I think the Ferrari is going to be very fast at the Australian track. It always seems to be good at Melbourne, no matter the regulation period. I mean, apart from 2025, they were just slow, but they were slow throughout the entire year. But I think Ferrari, like I said, they're going to be really good around Melbourne, and Hamilton also really likes this track, so that also adds to my prediction. Moving on to P2 in qualifying, and I have gone for Charles Leclerc to be in P2. Like I said, I think the Ferrari is going to be very good around this circuit, but I wouldn't be surprised if the 2 Ferrari drivers swap, if I'm being brutally honest, because Hamilton is really good at Melbourne, and Charles Leclerc does struggle a little bit around this track. Yes, he won in 2022, that was probably his best race of this track, but apart from that, he's not really had many top tier performances at this track, so I wouldn't be surprised if Leclerc's P3 and Hamilton's P2, but based on last year, I've gone Leclerc for P2. And moving on to pole position, and I have gone for George Russell to be on pole position. I think the Mercedes is going to be really fast. I think they were sandbagging a little bit in pre-season testing, and I feel like George Russell also is going to be really strong at this track, and that's why I think he'll take the first pole position of the season. Moving on to my race predictions, starting off with P3, and I have gone for Max Verstappen to be in P3. I think the Red Bull, like I said, is going to be really good around here. Not as good as the Mercedes and the Ferrari, but I do think it'll be better than the McLaren around this circuit. And I think Verstappen, no matter what car he's in, he will drag that car to places where it shouldn't really be. Moving on to P2, and I have gone for Lewis Hamilton to be in P2. I think the Ferrari, like I said, is going to be really strong, and I've got Hamilton beating Leclerc in the race because I feel like Hamilton, when he's got a car he's comfortable with, which I think he will have a car that's comfortable with, or he's comfortable with, I think he's one of, if not the best drivers in terms of race pace. Probably not the best now, but definitely one of the best drivers in terms of race pace, and that's why I've got Hamilton in P2, and I wouldn't be surprised if Hamilton actually won the Australian Grand Prix. And moving on to the winner of the 2026 Australian Grand Prix, and I have gone for George Russell. No surprises. I think Russell will have the best car, and I think he will excel brilliantly with that machinery, and I think he'll win the Australian Grand Prix. I don't think he's going to absolutely dominate by 30 seconds or anything, but I think it will be a very comfortable race for George Russell. Moving on to my 3 random predictions, and the clue's in the name. It's 3 predictions that are just completely random. I could just say anything. It doesn't have to be bold or anything like that. It could just be completely random. My first random prediction for the 2026 Australian Grand Prix: McLaren finished 25 seconds off the lead. Like I said, I think McLaren are going to really struggle around here. They always tend to struggle in the regulation periods, and I think McLaren are just going to really struggle for speed for the first race of the season. That's why I've got them finishing 25 seconds off the lead. My second random prediction: Haas best of the rest. I think Haas are really competitive this season, and I can see them finishing 9th, 10th, 8th, 9th, depending on obviously how Hadjar does in that second Red Bull. And I think Haas are a team on the rise. Like I said in my championship predictions, I think they're a team that are really on the rise, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they finished 5th in the Constructors. But Haas best of the rest for the Australian Grand Prix? I don't think that's much of a bold prediction. And my third random prediction for the Australian Grand Prix: 2 or more safety cars in the race. I feel like Melbourne always produces safety cars, and I just think there'll be a bit of carnage for quite a few reliability issues with new regulations, and I think we'll see 2 or more safety cars. Just pure vibes, because that's what we do around here. Just talk and predict absolute nonsense. Well, there we have it. That's the end of my first predictions video of the season. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, because I'm doing this for every single race for the 2026 season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys for the Chinese Grand Prix predictions coming soon.